Well, the community control group, of course, will continue to meet. Perhaps you could assist with resident inquiries in the public inquiry line and to keep in contact with the people in your wards. We'll be continuing updating that information as well as the media to ensure that only accurate information is being provided. And I'll keep you informed following our next operational cycle of the control group with the latest information.
I'd like to call the second meeting of the control group to order. The mayor is still briefing council. He'll be joining us momentarily. I'd like to introduce our emergency management officer.
Operation cycle meetings continue, with each member providing updates on the situation as it evolves and any particular needs are addressed. New plans of action are developed, along with options. At this point, additional members have joined the control and support groups. Representatives of provincial agencies, as well as county social services, and the medical officer of health are on hand. Representatives of other groups may also be included as the situation evolves.
Currently, we have shelters open at the 2 local high schools. It's staffed with social services personnel and local volunteers from service clubs. We have our contracted response agency providing registration and inquiry for us. We have the capability and resources available to open up another shelter at the community center if necessary.
Dr. Brown.
Well, I've deployed public health nurses to all the evacuation centers, and they'll be working very closely with evacuees. We're also working very closely with the Ministry of the Environment regarding air quality and health impacts. At this time, there's nothing conclusive regarding long-term impacts at this time.
Steve, can I have the EMO update, please?
Yes, Mr. Reid. At the present time, the Provincial Operations Center is at an enhanced monitoring level. There are a number of ministries down there at our POC right now, particularly the Ministry of Labor, the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing, and the Ministry of the Environment. The Ministry action groups are ready to step in and provide assistance if the need arises, if this emergency here at the town of Trillium escalates. I would encourage you also to continue following your plan that the CMC has been instrumental in putting together. It's a good plan and your town should continue to follow it.
Can you tell me any updates from the Ministry of the Environment specifically?
The Ministry of the Environment has deployed their TAGA unit downwind of the facility right now. They're working in close consultation with your Director of Public Works as well as the County Medical Officer of Health. They have found airborne toxins in the air at the present time, and they are still busy analyzing the samples taken from the sewer systems and from the wells in the area. The water samples are being sent to our provincial labs for priority analysis.
Okay, Ernie, as the clerk and the acting human resources officer, I know that you brought to my attention earlier some staffing issues. Would you care to elaborate for the group's benefit at this time?
Thank you, Randy. I do want to acknowledge that at the outset of this particular incident, we did have some issues regarding the deployment of administrative support staff. However, subsequently, we've been able to work through those problems and have come up with a balanced schedule for the future. I'd also advise you that our public inquiry lines are now fully staffed and are averaging about 100 calls an hour.
Thanks, Ernie. Now, Steve, does EMO have anything further to add?
I've already discussed things with you and your mayor, Mr. Reid. Everything is being handled very well so far. The province is here to do everything we can to help you. In accordance with that, the hazmat resources are en route to the town of Trillium. If there's anything that you need further, to let me know, and I'll forward those requests on. The province is here to help you in any way we can.
It is equally important that in addition to discussing strategy, the control group closes the loop on actions already initiated to ensure tasks assigned are completed. During this entire process, close communication is maintained between the operations center and the emergency site manager.
What happened? I thought the first time you guys had sorted out this problem. Now it's happened again.
In addition, close communication must be maintained with the media and the public.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you all had a chance to get some rest while your alternates were on shift. This is the 12th meeting of the control group, and I'd like to start off with an operational briefing from the fire chief.
Thank you. The fire is under control. We do still have some concerns about runoff in the area, but I think we can start looking forward to lifting the evacuation order and returning some of the residents.
That's great. Police Chief.
Well, my people are pretty worn out, but they're still holding. If we do lift the evacuation order, I can start to stand down some of my officers.
As the situation de-escalates, it is time for the control group to begin turning its focus toward recovery.
And everybody's holding up fine.
I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank you collectively. We've done a great job as a control group, and I want you to ensure that you pass on our thanks to all of your staffs. They've all done a great job. I also want to think that we should recommend a termination of the emergency at this point. Your Worship?
What steps do I need to take to terminate the emergency?
Your Worship, terminating an emergency is the same as the declaration. We need to complete this form and fax it to the province.
If everyone's in agreement, I'll sign the form right now.
Great. As we now turn our focus towards the recovery operations, I would like to remind all of you that we need to collect all of your logs and pass those into the clerk so that we have a final compiled record of how we handled this emergency. I would also like individually and collectively to have your comments on things that we can improve upon, any additional resources we may have to look at acquiring for the future. And tomorrow, I think we'll have an immediate hot wash of the situation, our initial impressions. Then I want to formally schedule a final debriefing in 2 weeks with ultimately we want to have a final written report, which I'm going to ask you, Mr. Clerk, to coordinate to provide to Council. I think that's very important in 2 weeks.
Mayor, how do you feel the municipality dealt with the emergency?
We dealt with it very effectively. We have a great emergency response or emergency management program. Our response was timely and effective, and now we should concentrate on the recovery. One thing I would like all of you to understand is that our municipal employees and staff concerned with responding to the emergency functioned extremely well, and the plan worked extremely well.
Will there be any compensation for the accident victims?
That's a matter that we deal with in the recovery phase.
The purpose of this video has been to demonstrate the important role the Community Control Group and support staff play during an emergency situation. Only through a systematic approach with each agency and individual working together as a team can a community effectively manage an emergency. Nobody can predict where or when an emergency will occur, but we can be sure that at some time in the future, something will occur which will impact on the health, safety, and welfare of your community. Proper preparation now and continued training will enhance your community's ability to respond to and recover from any emergency. The Emergency Management Act sets out a detailed program to assist communities to enhance their level of public safety and preparedness. Our common goal is to create disaster-resilient communities. Each municipality has been provided with a Community Emergency Management Handbook to assist you in advancing your level of preparedness and training. For more information, please contact Emergency Management Ontario.